What if I told you that one of the most powerful tools in music is a melody? It isn't rhythm. It isn't harmony. It's missing information. Think about some of the most fascinating artists of the last few decades. Sleep Token, Daft Punk, Ghost. Artists who hide their faces, hide their names, hide their stories. Artists who refuse to fully explain themselves. And somehow that makes millions of people even more obsessed. Why would knowing less make us care more? Why does mystery make music feel deeper, more important, sometimes even better? The answer begins with a flaw in the human brain. A flaw that every great storyteller, every magician, and every mysterious musician knows how to exploit. Imagine I walk up to you and say, "I know a secret about you." Then I turn around and leave. What happens next? Your brain immediately starts working. What's secret? How does he know? Is it good? Is it bad? Can I find out? You can't help it. Your brain hates unfinished information. Psychologists call this the information gap. The moment there's a gap between what you know and what you want to know, your mind becomes obsessed with closing it. Mystery creates a question, and questions create attention. Now think about artists like Sleep Token. Most musicians spend years trying to tell the world who they are. Interviews, podcasts, social media, daily updates. But Sleep Token did the opposite. They gave people almost nothing. No personal stories. No clear identities. And suddenly, everyone wanted to know everything. Not because they gave information, because they withheld it. But something even stranger happens. When information is missing, your brain starts filling in the blanks. Psychologists call this projection. Whenever details are absent, we invent them ourselves. Think about reading a novel. The author describes a character, but your brain creates the face, the voice, the personality, the emotions. The character becomes partly yours. Mystery works the same way. The less artists reveal, the more space they leave for your imagination. And imagination is often more powerful than reality. This is why mystery feels personal. Every fan creates a slightly different version of the artist. A different story, a different meaning, a different mythology. And because they help create that story, they become emotionally attached to it. The artist is no longer just a musician. They become an idea. There's another reason mystery feels so powerful, and it has nothing to do with music. Imagine two rooms. One room contains a simple cardboard box. The other contains a locked vault. Which one feels more valuable? Most people instinctively choose the vault, even if they have no idea what's inside. Because mystery creates the illusion of depth. Our brains assume hidden things must be important. If something is difficult to access, it must be valuable. If something remains unexplained, it must contain deeper meaning. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it isn't. But your brain makes the assumption anyway. This phenomenon appears everywhere. Batman is more mysterious than Superman, and many people find him more interesting. Banksy refuses to reveal his identity, and that secrecy became part of the art. Even ancient religions understood this principle. Mystery creates fascination. The unknown creates meaning. The hidden feels important. Music is no exception. But perhaps the biggest reason mystery works today is because it has become rare. Think about modern celebrity culture. We know everything. What artists eat, where they travel, what they buy, what they think, who they date, what they wore yesterday. For the first time in human history, famous people are constantly visible. The distance between artist and audience has almost disappeared. And when something becomes common, it loses value. In a world where everyone is revealing everything, secrecy becomes revolutionary. Mystery becomes luxury. The artist who refuses to explain themselves suddenly stands out. Not because they're louder, but because they're quieter. Not because they reveal more, but because they reveal less. And then something fascinating happens. The mystery begins affecting the music itself. Not the notes, not the chords, not the rhythms. Your perception. Imagine hearing the exact same song, same production, same melody, same mix. In one version, it's performed by an anonymous masked figure. In the other, it's performed by a random stranger from social media. Would they feel identical? Probably not, because your brain never hears music objectively. Context changes perception. What you know changes what you hear, and what you don't know changes it even more. Mystery transforms listening into investigation. You stop asking, "Do I like this song?" and start asking, "What does this mean? Who is this person? Why are they hiding? What am I missing?" Suddenly, you're no longer consuming music. You're solving a puzzle. And puzzles are addictive. This might explain why mysterious artists often develop such passionate fan communities. The fans aren't just listening. They're searching, analyzing, connecting clues, building theories, discussing symbols, decoding messages. The music becomes an experience larger than the music itself. It becomes a world. And humans love worlds. But here's the twist. Does mystery actually make the music better? Not necessarily. A bad song doesn't become a masterpiece because the singer wears a mask. A weak melody doesn't become genius because nobody knows the artist's name. Mystery can't create quality, but it can create attention. And attention changes everything. Because when you pay closer attention, you notice more details. You spend more time listening. You think more deeply. You engage more fully. And the more attention something receives, the more meaningful it often becomes. Maybe that's the real power of mystery. It doesn't change the music. It changes us. It changes how we listen, how we think, how we engage, how much of ourselves we bring into the experience. So, why does mystery make music more addictive? Because humans are naturally drawn toward unanswered questions. Because our brains hate empty spaces. Because imagination loves missing pieces. And because in a world that explains everything, the unexplained feels magical. Maybe we don't fall in love with mystery because it gives us answers. Maybe we fall in love with mystery because it gives us something much more valuable. A reason to keep listening. And perhaps that's why the most fascinating artists aren't always the ones who reveal the most. They're the ones who leave just enough unsaid, just enough hidden, just enough unknown, to keep us wondering what lies behind the mask. If you enjoyed this exploration into the psychology of music, subscribe for more videos about why music makes us feel what we feel. Because sometimes the most powerful part of music isn't what we hear. It's what we never get to know.